On today's Bismarck Bucks Coaches Show, we recap the Bucks' first trip out east to Massachusetts in their thriller with the Pirates. And after over a month away from home, the Bucks welcome in the 6-1 Frisco Fighters to the Event Center this Friday. And after learning about Robert Fuller's powerlifting regime last week, this week he uses his equally powerful mind to teach us all about the belt. It's all coming up on this week's Bismarck Bucks Coaches Show, which starts right now. Welcome inside our Beck Studios, everybody. I'm David Sugarman, and this is the Bismarck Bucks Coaches Show. After a week away from the gridiron to recover on their bye week, the Bucks return to action this week with their first ever trip to Massachusetts to take on the Pirates. The Bucks hoping to avenge a Week 3 18-point defeat at home. Opening drive, first play for the Pirates, quarterback Alejandro Benefield looking for the league leader in receiving yards and touchdowns. Tack on one more for Thomas Owens, 27 yards. Pirates up 7-0 early. Later in the first, Benefield back to pass. This time, R.J. Turner goes up and snatches it. 20 yards, extra point is no good. However, the Pirates still up 13-zip, under 2 to go. It's the newbies. New quarterback Caleb Lewis, new wide receiver Andre Williams, making themselves useful to the Buck faithful. 18-yard touchdown pass. Start of a big night for Williams. 13-6. First play of the second. Pirates knocking on the door for the second straight week. DB Zarel Hendrick with a pick in the end zone, no less, on the ensuing drive. Caleb Lewis, former LSU Tiger, former Robert Morris quarterback, finds Andre Williams again. Those two making themselves, getting some good chemistry going early on. Pirates lead 13-12 after the missed extra point. Lead down to 1 though. Still in the second. Benefield, he's got an arm. He's got some legs too. Runs it in from 9 yards out. Missed extra point. Pirates lead 19-12. Just 31 ticks left in the first half. Benefield over the middle, aims the arrow for Owens. 32-yard score. Pirates up 25-12. And on the ensuing kickoff, first one against the Bucks this season, kicker Josh Gable, the deuce. Kicks it through the uprights. Quite the leg on Mr. Gable. That's 2. Pirates lead 27-12 going into the locker room. Opening drive of the third. It had been Lewis doing the job up to this point. Handoff for running back Justin Rankin. You hit this man, you better wrap him up. 19-yard score. Bucks missed the 2-point conversion, but the lead trail 27-18. 10-17 to go in the third. Benefield gives Thomas the hat trick, his easiest of the nights. 21-yard touchdown. 33-18 Pirates. We stay in the third. Bucks hanging around. Anything you can do, we can do better. Third touchdown for Andre Williams. Hat trick for him as well. 22-yarder. Pirates lead 33-24. Under a minute to go in the quarter. Benefield for a wide open receiver. LaQuiviante Gonzalez, an 18-yard score. Pirates up 40-24 going into the fourth. Tell you what, these Bucks guys, especially the new guys, they got some fight in them. Early fourth, 1-yard scurry from Caleb Lewis. Cuts the lead to a one-possession game, 40-32 after the conversion. After a Pirates field goal, Bucks trail by 11 with just over a minute to go. Rankin takes the pitch 2 yards into the end zone. Pirate, and it's 43-38. Last chance, Cody Barber able to execute an onside kick well enough for Williams to recover as if he hadn't done enough. 3 touchdowns plus the onside recovery sets up the chance for the Bucks to take their first lead of the night. 4 seconds to go from the Pirates 23 Lewis's pass batted down by DB Santos Ramirez was looking for Stokes, and the Pirates hold on 43-38. Bismarck falls to 5-5. After the game, some of the newest Bucks spoke how while the loss was certainly disappointing, there were still plenty of positives to take away.
I mean, I was just proud of how we fought back. We were down 16 going into the fourth quarter, and we gave ourselves a chance to win the game there at the end. A throw that I would like to have back, personally. But man, yeah, we fought. We fought hard, and I definitely think that the challenge we put up against a team like Mass Pirates, and the compliments we got from a team like that, we'll be ready to go out against Frisco this Friday and pedal the metal from the jump and not have to fight from too far behind. We'll be the aggressor, and we'll get out in front.
A lot of teams, especially like getting down early, can literally just fall and just not try to get up and keep fighting. But we fought to the end, literally came down to the last place. So, that says a lot for a team, being that we was in a hostile environment, we continued to fight and just try to find a way to put ourselves in a position to win.
We just went in at halftime and regrouped and just figured out, hey, we got to give it our all. We got to come back. We're down a few scores, and everyone just trusted each other and kept faith, and we believed in it, and we almost had that chance.
A look around the league. Sioux Falls falls to Spokane 46-35. A thriller between Tucson and Duke City. The Sugar Skulls prevail 41-40. Elsewhere, Arizona Rattlers, no problem with the Northern Arizona Wranglers 62-19. And the Frisco Fighters take down the Iowa Barnstormers at home 42-35. Now at 500 with 2 straight road losses, the Bucks could use a little home cooking. And for the first time since June 12th, they'll get that. This Friday, the Bucks return to the Bismarck Event Center to take on the second best record in the league, the 6-1 Frisco Fighters. Most recently, the Fighters had a great battle against the Iowa Barnstormers, a thriller that needed a go-ahead touchdown from quarterback Gerard Hurd with just 3 seconds to go to pick up the win. Hurd may have been the hero, however. The Fighters roll with a 2-quarterback system using Hurd mainly as a runner and Jonathan Bain as passer. Bain threw for 3 scores and no picks in the win last week. This is a dynamic offense. However, the Bucks feel they'll be prepared for the challenge.
Just have to be prepared for whatever they throw at us. So, kind of like Sioux Falls where they had their 1-2 punch with QBs. Kind of like how Benefield did for us. We just got to prepare like it's another game for us, and that we got to get back in the win column. Trust me, we are ready to be back at home, ready to be back in the event center here, and just ready to get these fans a show.
Our offense right now, low-key, have a similar type of thing. We have 2 new quarterbacks. One's a good passer, and one's a better runner, but both pretty good passers. So I think we'll be able to have a good scout team set up this week, so we can be able to replicate what we will see coming Friday.
Time for a short break. When we come back, we'll sit down with the Bucks boss, head coach Rod Miller.
Hey Bucks fans, if you're planning an outing, birthday, or employee appreciation night, then bring your group out to the Buck Stop for a night of fast-paced, high-scoring football. Your group will receive discounted tickets, options for reserved seating, scoreboard messages, VIP services, swag, and a space to gather during the game. You can also participate in pre-game ceremonies, halftime entertainment, in-game contests, and more. Call 701-595-0771 or visit bismarckbucks.com/tickets. All GA is first come, first serve. We'll see you on the turf. Go Bucks!
Everybody needs an off-season, but our announcers have a tough time slowing down.
Dude, you might have had practice a little bit. Right, I don't really think that.
Johnson holds, shoots, he scores! Incredible! For the second time today, Brent has jammed the printer.
Lowry's 3rd caramel roll of the day. That's a bold move.
And he drains one. Blind squirrel finds a nut. And back to normal.
Staying connected is more important than ever, and we're proud to have connected you when it mattered most. Whether it was working remotely at your new home office or providing cutting-edge security and connectivity solutions, or connecting you to your customers in new ways. More than ever, your local co-op is here for you. Choose local, choose Beck Connect.
Indoor football is back at the Event Center, and the Bismarck Bucks season is right around the corner. The team will be fueled and ready to compete on game days thanks to our 2021 food sponsors. Dine with any of our supporting partners and get a free Bucks ticket to any home game in the 2021 season. Great food and free football. Tickets are first come, first serve, so get yours now. Call 701-595-0771 for more ticket information. And go Bucks!
Welcome back to the Bismarck Bucks Coaches Show. As we are every week, we're delighted to be joined by the Bucks boss, head coach Rod Miller. Coach, thanks so much for joining us.
I'm glad to be here.
For the second straight game, fell behind the 8 ball a little bit. What needed to be different on those first few possessions, particularly with all the new pieces on offense?
You know, I know defensively, we just made a couple mistakes early. I mean, you can't make mistakes, can't give up one-hitter quitters, and we give up a couple of those early, you know. So I think when that happens, it pushes you behind the 8 ball a little bit. You can't get behind the 8 ball, you know, in this league, you know. But to the respect of our team, they fought back in the end, but we have to start fast, and that's been the biggest difference for us in the games that you see that we've won. We started fast. We have to start fast. We can't get behind the 8 ball.
You just touched on it. What does it say, especially with all those new variables coming off the bye week, 2 new quarterbacks, a new wide receiver, a couple other new guys, that you were able to scrap back into this ball game and put yourselves in a position to win in the final minute?
You know, it shows that these guys have heart, you know, and tenacity, and we just got to get working together. Like I said, we're putting together the pieces to make this final run for the final stretch. So, you know, it's going to take some adjustments, but, you know, luckily, you know, we were able to adjust at the end of the game to get it done. We would like to have adjusted sooner, but, you know, if that's setting the pavement for what we need to do to finish the season strong, then, you know, we'll take that into consideration. Like I said, we did finish strong, but we just got to start faster.
We saw 2 new quarterbacks this week in Caleb Lewis and Kelly Bryant. Lewis did the lion's share of the passing. What impressed you about him in his first start?
You know, he knew where he wanted to deliver the ball, you know, and that was the thing he showed in practice, that we were trying to get the ball deeply, deliver the ball, deep ball correctly, and we were able to do that this week, and he made some throws, and he made some reads, and he was patient, and that's the main thing. He was patient to make for those throws to open up, so that is a big thing for what he did for us to help expand our passing game.
At Clemson and Mizzou, Kelly Bryant was a guy who was known as a very mobile quarterback. Showed that this week, 6 carries for 70 yards. What skills does he have that makes him so dangerous in your offense?
I mean, he is a true dual threat, and that's the type of quarterback you need in this league as well. I think once he picks up, you know, some of the intricacies of this game here, he's going to be a good quarterback. So we're proud to have him. You know, he's able to use his feet and make things happen, because when things break down, sometimes you got to use your feet. So having a weapon like that and having both of those quarterbacks with 2 contrasting styles that can help us win in either style of play we need to do is going to be big for us.
As you head into that home stretch of the regular season, both of these quarterbacks just played their first game. How much of a 2-quarterback system can we expect to see going forward?
I think both of those quarterbacks are going to help us, and it's something that we're looking at, that we can use 2 contrasting style quarterbacks to deliver the game plan that we want to use, and it makes the teams have to kind of develop for those 2 teams and prepare for those guys. So, you know, you look at a team we're playing this week, Frisco, they kind of do the same thing as well. They have 2 quarterback systems. So if they can both help us win with the style of play that they have, then we're going to use them.
Someone else who made a pretty big impression was new wide receiver Andre Williams. 4 catches, 3 touchdowns, and 66 yards. What makes him so good that he was able to do all that in his first game in a new offense?
Well, you know, he had to be able to practice for a couple of weeks. So he's been here practicing to be able to get ready to play. And also motivation is a big thing, too. You know, that was a team that he had played for previously before he came to us. That's his hometown area. So, you know, he has some motivation added on, but he's just a good football player anyway. So I think you add those combinations together, and we have a guy like that, especially playing the first game, if you can get their confidence built early, that helps the game plan develop as it did the rest of that game, and that also will carry on to the rest of the season, knowing that he can play that capability.
Defensively, some impressive performances as well, particularly defensive back Zarel Hendrick. Second straight game with a pick in the end zone, no less. How has he grown as the year's gone on?
You know, he made that play, you know, but Zarel did also make some mistakes in that game as well, you know. So he's just got to keep improving and maturing. The thing about it, and have a short memory, which he was able to come back, and that's why he got that interception, you know, shook off some of the things that happened earlier. But, you know, as long as he stays in his mind right and keeps working, we're going to be a good team in the secondary. Like I said, eliminate some of the little mistakes, which we're going to do, we'll be okay.
I hope you know which door still to enter at the Bismarck Event Center. First home game in over a month. How excited are you guys to get back in front of the home fans?
You know, it's very good to get back home. There's no place like home, and hear your own fans and cheering behind your home fan base. And, you know, for us, the guys, it's been on the road a long time in the bye week, so it's always good to be back home.
playing a new team for the first time in a long time, since May 22nd. You're going to see the Frisco Fighters. They sport, you mentioned, one of the best defenses in the league, particularly best rushing defense in the league. How do you plan to establish the run against the team?
You know, we got to do our thing. I think with the lineman we have up front, you know, the new center we brought in last week, Torrey Boyd, he did very well against probably the best nose guard in this league last week up there in Massachusetts. So we're going to come out, execute our game plan, and try to force our will. You know, kind of know what, you know, Clinton, those guys have up their sleeve. You know, I've coached with them before, so I know how that goes. So we're just excited to play. We're excited for the challenge. Like I said, if you want to be the best, you got to beat the best, and that's how we're looking at it.
You touched on their two-quarterback system. They use Gerard Hurd mainly as a runner. Jonathan Bain does the bulk of the passing. Right now you're planning on an offense with two quarterbacks. How do you plan for a defense that's going against two quarterbacks?
Well, you know, you have your different game plans. So when you have a passing quarterback, we got a different game plan we're going to use for a guy who's mainly the passer. And when the running quarterback comes in, we have a game plan for him as well to kind of take away some of the run plays that he likes to run. So, you know, we'll be alert to who's in the game, and we'll have a different package that we're practicing this week to take care of both of those quarterbacks.
Trying to get back above 500. What's the code word for the week?
Function. We have to function as a unit and get back to our winning ways. And when we were winning, we were seeing we're functioning, offense, defense, special teams from the beginning, from the start of the game. And when we function together and we function well, our team can be great. So that's what we want to do, is we want to get back functioning as a well-run unit.
Function is the code word of the week. Take that to social media. See if you can win you some Bucs swag and prizes. Coach, thanks so much for joining us.
As usual, glad to be here.
Bucs head coach Rod Miller. We're going to take a short break. When we come back, we'll learn a little bit more about the belt with Robert Fuller.
Hey Bucs fans, if you're planning an outing, birthday, or employee appreciation night, then bring your group out to the Buck Stop for a night of fast-paced, high-scoring football. Your group will receive discounted tickets, options for reserved seating, scoreboard messages, VIP services, swag, and a space to gather during the game. You can also participate in pre-game ceremonies, halftime entertainment, in-game contests, and more. Call 701-595-0771 or visit bismarckbucks.com/tickets. All GA is first come, first serve. We'll see you on the turf. Go Bucks.
Everybody needs an off-season, but our announcers have a tough time slowing down.
Hey, do you mind if I practice a little bit? Right, I don't really think that. Johnson holds, shoots, he scores! Incredible! For the second time today, Brent has jammed the printer. Lowry's third caramel roll of the day. That's a bold move.
And he drains one. Blind squirrel finds a nut. And back to normal.
Staying connected is more important than ever, and we're proud to have connected you when it mattered most. Whether it was working remotely at your new home office or providing cutting-edge security and connectivity solutions, or connecting you to your customers in new ways. More than ever, your local co-op is here for you. Choose local, choose Beck Connect.
Indoor football is back at the Event Center, and the Bismarck Bucks season is right around the corner. The team will be fueled and ready to compete on game days thanks to our 2021 food sponsors. Dine with any of our supporting partners and get a free Bucks ticket to any home game in the 2021 season. Great food and free football. Tickets are first come, first serve, so get yours now. Call 701-595-0771 for more ticket information. And go Bucks!
Last week, we dove into the powerlifting regime and background of our Bismarck Bucks analyst and resident IFL Hall of Famer, Robert Fuller. This week, we left the weight room and got into the film room to learn about one of the more unique rules of the IFL, the belt. Take a look. Coach, we're going to learn about one of the more unique rules of the IFL, the belt. We're going to break down a couple of plays here, but first, the belt is not a rule we see at pretty much any other level of football. So explain exactly what is the belt.
Okay, so using our visual here, the belt is a 5-yard area basically that begins at the line of scrimmage, goes 5 yards, it goes from wall to wall, and in that area, you cannot have a defender in that area unless they're directly lined up on a man. So again, this area goes from wall to wall and it disappears at the snap.
Okay, so we've got a 1st down and 10 here. Bucks have the football. Point out where the belt is and how does it come into play for both the defense and the offense.
Okay, so we have it here that the ball is on the 15-yard line, and that's perfect. If you look at the Blizzard defender, the linebacker, he is exactly at 5 yards, which he is allowed to be. Okay, he cannot be at 4 or 3 unless there are some other scenarios that we'll talk about here in a minute. The defensive back, so the cornerback for Green Bay, is outside of the belt, but he is allowed to come up and press the wide receiver because he would be head up on that wide receiver. So he would be allowed to come into the belt. The safety, because there is no man at that line of scrimmage right now, cannot be inside the belt, but as this high motion receiver comes to the line, he can come up and jam him.
Rules are a little bit different when we get to 4th down, specifically 4th down and short. 4th and 2 right here. Bucks are on defense. This was from the game against Iowa. How do things get a little bit different here for the Bucks defense?
Okay, so on 4th and 2 here, the defenders can line up anywhere on the line to gain, okay, even if there was not a man there. So this linebacker, right now the Bucks have all of their defenders, basically their entire secondary is manned up or playing press. So he's playing off because these DBs here, they're obviously inside those 2 yards, but they're stacked on wide receivers, so that's perfectly legal. And this defender here is waiting for the high motion receiver, as this defender here is also waiting for a high motion receiver, so they can be, you know, inside that 2 yards.
All right, last one here, Coach. 4th down and goal. Things get, again, a little bit different, similar to a normal 4th down, but when you're near the goal line, there's less field, and that means the belt shrinks a little bit.
Yeah, the belt will never go beyond the goal line. So right here, the ball looks like it's about the 4-yard line. You see the linebacker has his foot on the goal line. The uncovered, basically the safety here, you know, there's a man in motion, but he's coming from across the field. So let's say that, you know, everybody likes to run that jet sweep motion. So we see this a lot. If he were coming across the formation here and this defensive back was beyond the line of scrimmage, he would have to back up. So that's another reason we see a lot of illegal defenses when those safeties come up and try to make a play here. But this DB, again, because he's pressed on the corner, he's fine. He's allowed to be inside in the field of play.
Coach, you're a Hall of Famer for a reason. Thanks for teaching us a thing or two today.
Absolutely.
Thanks to Coach Fuller for helping us out this week, and keep an eye out for the belt. It plays a big factor in every IFL game. We're going to take a short break. However, when we come back, we're going to learn who won our Coach's Code Word Winner segment for the week. Don't go anywhere. You're watching the Bismarck Bucks Coaches Show.
Hey Bucks fans, if you're planning an outing, birthday, or employee appreciation night, then bring your group out to the Buck Stop for a night of fast-paced, high-scoring football. Your group will receive discounted tickets, options for reserved seating, scoreboard messages, VIP services, swag, and a space to gather during the game. You can also participate in pre-game ceremonies, halftime entertainment, in-game contests, and more. Call 701-595-0771 or visit bismarckbucks.com/tickets. All GA is first come, first serve. We'll see you on the turf. Go Bucks!
Everybody needs an off-season, but our announcers have a tough time slowing down.
And you might have had practice a little bit. Right, I don't really think that. Johnson holds, shoots, he scores! Incredible! For the 2nd time today, Brent has jammed the printer. Lowry's 3rd caramel roll of the day. That's a bold move.
And he drains one. Blind squirrel finds a nut. And back to normal.
Staying connected is more important than ever, and we're proud to have connected you when it mattered most. Whether it was working remotely at your new home office or providing cutting-edge security and connectivity solutions, or connecting you to your customers in new ways. More than ever, your local co-op is here for you. Choose local, choose Beck Connect.
Indoor football is back at the Event Center, and the Bismarck Bucks season is right around the corner. The team will be fueled and ready to compete on game days thanks to our 2021 food sponsors. Dine with any of our supporting partners and get a free Bucks ticket to any home game in the 2021 season. Great food and free football. Tickets are first come, first serve, so get yours now. Call 701-595-0771 for more ticket information. And go Bucks!
Welcome back, everybody, and as we do every week to close out the show, let's give away some free stuff. This week's Bismarck Bucks Coaches Code Word winner is one Stacy Yancer. Stacy, congratulations. Could have some cool Bucks swag and prizes on your way. Keep refreshing that inbox here over the next day or two. Promise we'll get in touch with you soon. And if you want to be like Stacy, here is what you have to do. The Coaches Code Word for the week is function. That's what Rod Miller was preaching this week to his squad. Function. Take that word to Bismarck Bucks Football on Facebook, at Bismarck Bucks on Twitter, at Bismarck_Bucks on Instagram. And every Wednesday at 6:30, pay attention because that is when Coach will be on every Wednesday night, 6:30 p.m., talking all things Bucks, looking forwards, looking backwards, and of course, giving us that precious Coaches Code Word. Before we head out, let's take a quick look at the Bucks' upcoming schedule. This Friday night at 6:05, the Bucks are finally back home for the first time in over a month to take on the Frisco Fighters. We'll have that game right here on Beck Sports. Then they'll head back to the road to take on the Tucson Sugar Skulls, come back home for their fourth and final meeting of the year with the Green Bay Blizzard before going to Iowa and rounding out the year at the Duke City Gladiators. That'll do it for this week's show. Special thanks to our director, Luke Tibor, producer, Cole Gendro, and everybody working so hard behind the scenes. I'm David Sugarman. Hope to see you at the Event Center this Friday for the Bucks and the Fighters. Until then, have a safe week.